Welcome to the next episode of the Architects Podcast. And today we got Carl Jackson on the line, actor slash director, screenwriter. How's it going today, Carl?
Great, sir. How you guys doing?
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
Thanks for inviting me. I'm excited to be a part of this podcast. It's actually the first one I've done outside of mine. I've done a couple, but I've turned down a lot of them because I just don't really like doing this stuff. But you guys seem like, I looked you guys up, and you guys are doing y'all on the right path. So I had to support.
We appreciate that. Definitely appreciate that.
All right, Carl. So I'm gonna ask you a few questions. I know we're gonna go back and forth, but I start off with mine. What made you want to become a director? What was it like I won't say the catalyst, a person or event?
Yeah, cool, man. So I was pretty much, I think for me, everybody's different, but for me, it was kind of like I kind of knew from almost birth that I was going to be doing what I'm doing right now. I remember my parents bought a little, I don't know if you remember, but in the 80s, they had these little VHS camcorder type things.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
Bell and How, what I'm talking about. And so I remember the first time we filmed something outside, like right after Easter or something like that, dude. And it was like, they didn't have anybody to shoot the whole family. It wasn't like these phones where you can just put it on a certain number and then you go behind of it, count 10 times, and then everybody can. No, it was like somebody had to actually be behind the camera. So I remember them saying, well, why don't we just shoot your sister, me, and your dad, and you film it? And I was like, okay. And so I filmed it. And what was crazy was we had a VHS camera, but we also had the Bell and Howell film camera, which was the little 8mm. And at that time, they still had photo. You could go to like Walmart or Kmart and you could get the film developed. They call it develop. I remember I filmed it, and I knew I felt like something weird. It was like what Chris Rock said when he says it was almost like a calling where you just knew he was going to be doing comedy. When I got the camera, I just felt like this was what I'm supposed to do. And when they developed the film, though, at that time, we had what they call, a big screen where you could watch it in the living room or whatever. And we actually watched what I shot. And I was blown away that I had shot that. It was like, whoa, right. I did this. And I think that was the birth of it. So for me, it was like, really, I just think I've started to realize that certain people are just called and chosen to do certain things in life. And it's just up to you to do the work and put in the work and figure out your path. And a lot of people that get into what I do, they think that it's about following the red carpet and fame and all that. It's really not. You got to be able to get up at 4 a.m. and, do what you got to do, catch planes and get on set. Like, it's a real thing. So I think it's a calling. And so that's how I knew. I just kind of knew from almost birth, but definitely childhood, around 7 or 8.
Wow, that's cool. So when you do the casting and stuff, like, you got to do all that yourself too, or like I have to just use somebody like a casting directors that do all that, or like?
Yeah, great question. So I've been fortunate enough to have a team. I do have a team now, but when I first started, it was me. I was just out there basically trying to find, it's like when you're trying to, kick game to a girl, it's like you just, hey, I want you in this movie, I want you to do this, I want you to do that. That's how I first started. But it was always easy for me to talk to people, especially women. So it was easy to get women to do my films or whatever, but it was hard to get sometimes the fellas to come around, especially, if I needed like someone that played a certain part and it was very dramatic or whatever. Sometimes it was hard with the fellas, but it initially started out with me, but now it's just been, I have a team, and it's honestly, we get a lot more people now that actually reach out to us than we have to. So we rarely have to even do casting calls, I guess, anymore, because we keep a database of all the people that sent us stuff.
Okay.
And whenever I'm doing a project, I just go to the database first. And then anything else I can't find that's in our database, then I just I do a casting call. We use Backstage, And Backstage is really great for filmmakers. If you're out there listening, Backstage is a great place to try to get some of your cast, you know. So
Okay, that's cool.
So I got a question. I seen. I think I read your biography. I think you started a studio in like 2002. Is that correct? Yes, what made you? I mean, was it something that you had already planned prior to that? Because I think that's before we went to film school. That
was definitely.
So I never heard of nobody like as far as somebody you can mimic and see the the results from. So what made you want to go ahead on and let me go get my studio started?
That's a great question, dude. Like that's really a long answer, but I'm gonna give you the shortest answer as possible.
All right.
We've got a time thing, I guess. But that's a really great question. And the reason why I say it's a great question is because a lot of people give Tyler Perry a lot of credit for what he's done the last 20 years, right?
Yeah.
And he's been amazing. Like, I'm not even trying to, come at that brother like that. It's not even like that.
Yeah.
Right. But in 2002, a lot of people don't remember, but in 2002, there were no Black anything that was going on in terms of studios. There was no Tyler Perry. As a matter of fact, I have a funny story I guess I share on the podcast. T.D. Jakes did a film called Woman Died Loose back in 2001 or 2002. And at the time, T.D. Jakes and I were meeting, and his attorneys were meeting about me directing the film.
Oh,
right?
Wow.
Okay.
And Jakes was getting ready to sell it to Matt Crouch, who is the founder of TBN. Well, he's one of the founders of the Trinity Broadcasting Network, which is a Christian network. He was getting ready to sell the whole idea of Woman Died Loose to Matt Crouch. So I go into a meeting with Jakes and his attorney at the time, Curtis Wallace, I think his name was. And I was telling them, Jakes is big enough, he doesn't need to sell it, he could do his own movies. So they were like, no, he can't. He's a preacher. He's a pastor. There's no way he could get into it. I said, I'm telling you, Jakes is big enough. At this point of his life, he could do this on his own. So the attorney, show me, dumb me, he goes, why don't you give me a proposal on how this would work out? How would you do this? I did a 10-page proposal. I did the whole bit. And they were like, it's between you and Tyler Perry that we're going to go with if we decide to keep this film and do it ourselves.
Wow.
If we take your advice and not sell it, it'll be between you and Tyler Perry. At the time, Tyler Perry had only done plays.
Stage plays. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Acting.
Yeah.
There you go. You following me. And so I'm like, okay, great. So I said, just let me know. So a couple weeks go by, nothing. About a month go by, I called Curtis Wallace and I said, hey man, what's going on? And you can actually find Curtis Wallace's name in some of those first films. So you'll know that I'm not making this up.
Right.
And so he's like, oh, we're still talking, and Tyler Perry wants to do it, but I think Tyler's getting ready to do his film, which came out later, called, you probably know it, Diary of a Mad Black Woman.
Yeah.
Right.
So he's like, he doesn't know if he wants to do Diary of a Mad Black Woman, or if he wants to do our film, but we'll let you know. They kept just saying this over and over. I'm like, something is up. I don't know what they're up to, but something don't feel right. Turns out, obviously Tyler didn't do it. He does Diary of a Mad Black Woman, and they got another director, and they kept the film. They did exactly what my plan is, to a T, guys.
Oh wow.
To a T.
Right.
I dare any one of them to lie and say that didn't happen.
Right.
I dare them. So anyway, after that, it was like, okay, I see how this is gonna go, and that was the inspiration that made me start my studio.
Oh, wow.
I was like, if I don't do this on my own and keep my ideas to myself and just work, this is what's going to keep happening. I didn't get mad. I didn't want to try to sue. I didn't want to put them out in this. It's garbage to do that. Don't dog Jakes. Don't dog this person. Don't dog that. It's just business.
Exactly.
Right.
I gave them a plan. They took it and ran with it. That's just business. Learn from it. So I did. I learned from it, and that's how the studio was started. It had nothing to do with any type of inspiration other than learning a lesson.
Yeah, learning.
Right.
Hey, the hard.
Yeah.
Was it the hard
ones
knocks of the
there.
business?
Yeah. Yeah,
that's
definitely.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. But but you get I guess the push in the back or whatever you want, because it was already had to be already in your mind to already have something to like, okay, they're not giving me this chance. Look, I'm taking a chance myself.
Right.
I'm gonna put my money behind myself and do whatever I need to do with it.
Absolutely, because what I realized later, and me and my assistant at that time, we were talking about it the other day. What we didn't realize is that I was really just didn't have the confidence to do it myself.
Okay. You were still like fresh.
Exactly.
Right.
So I'm thinking I needed a Jakes, I needed this, I needed that to really give me the confidence to go out and do it on my own. And it's funny how God works and how the universe works. It took that for me to get it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like it probably, if it had happened the way that I thought I wanted it to happen, I probably wouldn't be in this position that I am now.
Right.
I would have been still on that train of, hey, who's the next best whatever, skating through life. And it was more like, no, the universe was like, no, you can do this on your own. They needed you more than you needed them.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, definitely that. So what inspired you to do like Jesus Freak?
The Jesus Freak came from an idea that I had been, I guess, wandering around in my head for a long time about fake Christians. And no pun intended. I'm not trying to say.
Right.
Okay, so I don't want y'all to splice this up.
No, you good.
No, so far this is gonna be a straight cut. This won't be no edits in this.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
cool. But no, it was just about me, just my experience dealing with fake Christians, and I didn't want to do a film where I'm just like dogging Christians. I was like, well, let me come up with a story that I think that is relative to everybody that could get it. And so I started writing it, and the concept was basically these four. It was originally going to be a teen movie. It was going to be like I don't know, I Know What You Did Last Summer type movie.
Okay.
So it was going to be these 4 or 5 teens that go to Vegas, and when they get there, they're part of some youth camp or whatever. And then when they get to Vegas, they're going to try to be drinking and smoking and doing all this fun stuff. It was going to be like a comedy. But then the more we kept writing it, well, the more I started writing it, it was like, hey man, this thing is getting deep, So it's like, I think it's too deep for teens.
Right.
I think it's too deep for like young people. Like they're not even there with the whole religious thing. So I was like, I've got to change the narrative. I changed it to, instead of it being youth kids, it's youth pastors and pastor's wife.
Okay.
They go to Vegas. So that now opens the story when I can really tell a darker, not a darker story, but a more deep and dramatic story. And so it started out being a teen film, and then I developed it into what it was. And it just, my experience dealing with people who go to church and say one thing and do another, and it's kind of like my interpretation of how it really is supposed to be. And it's probably still our highest rated or highest grossing or whatever you want to call it.
Oh, okay.
One of our highest. Well, actually, Southern Girls is my highest grossing, but Jesus Freak is definitely behind it. It had a major release in theaters, and it was people resonated with the story more than I thought, actually. So
okay, I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I caught it on Tubi. I had watched it, man. Hey, it was realistic. Like, I have to give it to you. It was realistic. And
thank you, man.
Matter of fact, I got a question about it. I was at one point I was just like, what was the girl's profession when he met her, the one that married that girl? And she was like, oh, I'm at work. And I'm like, what does she work and do out here? Like,
okay, great question. So a lot of people thought she was a call girl.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Right. And she wasn't written as a call girl, but I took out, what's missing is I took out a scene where we see her serving drinks. You know how the girls that serve drinks when you're at Vegas and
right.
you're doing the slot machine and she's doing. I took out that part because I got more reaction from people thinking she was a call girl.
Wow.
Than if she was, and they never thought for a second she's just a hostess who's going around, on the tables. You need anything, Mr. Jackson, or whatever? And she's got the glass and she's got the little dress on. That's how I wrote it.
Okay.
But people were like, when we did the first testing of it, they was like, "Oh, she's a call girl." And they was like, "Oh, she's not." But
yeah, you got me.
right. And it's believable because she's cute, and then when she tells the story about what happened to her, it just makes it more believable that people would think maybe she was a call girl. So I just kept it as that.
Yeah.
I never say she is or not.
Right.
But I think it's obviously a lot of people thought that because you just said it. So
yeah.
It probably is what everybody's thinking. Then if you came up with that, it's probably what everybody's thinking.
And it was just it's really my fault because I should have just kept the scene. But I just felt like, no, I'm anything I can do to get people to go see the movie.
That's what I'm gonna say. I think you cool because you got me talking about it. I had to ask you because so I think that was clever.
Right.
So what do you think your pitfalls and rewards of being an independent filmmaker?
Well, the pitfalls were I depended too much on wanting to be part of the Hollywood system and celebrityism. I was caught up in the celebrityism for a while.
Wow. Okay.
I have a story. I guess I can tell you guys. Man, I'm giving you. I guess I like you guys. I'm telling y'all.
Hey, it's good interviewing skills, huh?
Right.
Oh, man. So y'all great, man. Y'all take y'all class. I have a story. So I met Quentin Tarantino right before he did
really
a movie called Kill Bill. I don't know if you've heard.
Yeah,
I
remember. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, I had there was a friend of mine, Billy Williams. He lives in Hollywood, and he was like, "Look, I want you to come out to my house. We're going to have this party. It's going to be Quentin, Michael Jai White, Orlando Jones. At the time, Orlando was huge. He had just did the movie with Eddie Griffin. And so he was like, I want you to come out because, you're a director. You get started your studio. I think it'd be great that you and Quentin chop it up. So I go to the event. I go to his house. It wasn't an event. It was a house. Me and Quentin hit it like this. Like, we're like this. Like, we talked for like an hour, maybe 2 hours straight, just about everything. He literally told me the story of, what's the film he did after Kill Bill? Oh my God, what's the name of the movie? Inglourious Bastards.
Oh, okay.
Bastards. Yeah, he told me the whole script and story. He literally sat there for like 25 minutes and told me from start to finish how he was going to do this movie. And he hadn't even started shooting Kill Bill yet. He was about to start shooting Kill Bill. Man. So anyway, we hit it off, and I talked him into playing a cameo in one of my films that I was getting ready to do at the time that didn't get funded. But anyway, he said yes, and so it took us like he literally had 3 different sets of dates that he set aside outside of Kill Bill, that he was in the middle of shooting his own movie, right?
Right.
And he sets out 3 separate dates to help me get this film made. He was going to fly from his set and come to my set and do the cameo. That's how much we had like hit it off.
Wow, man. It is just from meeting him like that night, right?
Just one night of meeting.
Okay.
Right?
Wow.
So anyway, long story short, the film didn't get funded. Well, it just devastated me. I really I saw him again a couple more times, and I just didn't want to see him anymore. Like, I was like, I don't want to hang out because I felt embarrassed. I'm a black dude.
I understand.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm just like, you know what? I saw him like at the 4 Seasons another time, and he was cool. We was talking, but I just felt embarrassed. I stopped communicating basically. And long story short, I realized years later that was part of my pitfall. I was so focused on wanting to be in the club that I didn't understand that it's really a pitfall if you're just in it just to be in the club. Yeah. If I had been more focused on making the movie,
right, and telling the story,
I would have got I would have got the movie made. But I was so focused on, hey, look at me, the Look at Me show. Look at me, I'm hanging out with this guy, I'm hanging out with that. So it was a pitfall, and I think, but and the other, I guess, pitfalls are, honestly, the women.
Yeah, that'd be tough.
I'm just being honest.
Right.
If a man could just focus on the work,
man,
and literally cut out the play.
Yeah. so much stuff would be accomplished. Yeah, I can fully understand what you're talking about. So much in my life would be accomplished if I could just put the women and all that stuff aside and focus on what I need to do in life.
Hey, that
would knock a lot of but for me anyway. But then we talk about cars.
No, dude, brother, we on the same page. Like, that has been. It's not so much a pitfall now because of COVID. No, I'm just kidding. No, it's not so much a pitfall.
COVID.
It's not so much a pitfall now because I'm older and wiser. So I'm able to kind of look at a girl. Oh man, she bad, and then go, all right, whatever. Because I ain't trying to get every bad got something in her life that she's dealing with. And do I want to mess up my great energy to deal with this bad just to be saying I hit it a couple nights? All right, whatever. I'm kind of just over that now. So that was a pitfall then more so than now. I remember one time there was this extra on the set and this girl was bad.
I couldn't focus.
And all I said, I got on the set and all I said was, man, I sure want to be with a girl as fine as you. And she says, well, you can.
Wow.
And like 20 minutes later, she's at my hotel and I'm just like, you know the rest.
Yeah. So you think I didn't want to interrupt you, but I'm just curious. You think that because you were the director and because you had the clout and she saw your body of work, I'm guessing, you think that's why she,
oh yeah, of course,
throw herself at you like that?
Yeah, absolutely. Because you can be good looking or ugly. It don't matter if you got that paper or if you got that power.
Yeah,
paper or power. The P's.
Yeah,
they come at you. You don't have to do anything.
Yeah.
And so that's what it was. But for me, that was a pitfall because I feel like a true man, is supposed to be able to look at a girl like that and go, oh, whatever, I got stuff to do. I got, and then you control what you want to do and who you want to be with.
Right.
Your decision.
Yeah.
But not based upon, ooh, girl, oh my God, no. Because that to me is how a lot of men mess up and they can't build because they're so focused on that. And let me tell you, that girl that you focus on, she gonna try to take half or whatever. I don't care how nice she is at the beginning. It does not matter. You got to get you a soldier, a great woman who understands what you're doing, and she's like, "No, it's time for me to fall back."
Exactly.
He needs me and support him from here while he go build for us. And if you don't have that, it's like you just wasting a lot of good, great years. So that was a pitfall.
Yeah.
If I had to, make a list of pitfalls. But the great thing about to answer the rest of your question, the great thing about it is I have full control over what I do and how much money I make. And that is a great feeling because I can literally say no to stuff.
Right.
Because a career is really built on what you say no to more than what you say yes to.
Okay.
So the more you can say no to stuff, then the better you can edge out your career and build what you want.
Exactly.
As opposed to people telling you, hey, do this, do that, like you some type of robot.
Boy. Yeah.
Right. And exactly. And then the money you're going to get sometimes don't equate to the time that you could have spent doing something that you really wanted to do that was going to pay you a lot more later maybe. Maybe it wouldn't pay you that much then, but if you build it now, then later you was going to get a bigger reward versus just taking a little money to do this or that. And, you being treated like, the biggest thing is for me is like, I know who I am. And if you don't know who I am, it's not my job to tell you.
Yeah.
It's my job to say no.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. You got the freedom. I hear you on that one.
Right. I got the freedom,
That's cool. So that means like when you making the stuff like I don't know how I know music is master, so that means whatever I guess the master is, that's all you,
Yeah, I own all my film. Everything you see on Tubi or anything you see anywhere, I own it 100%, and I share profits with the companies, or they pay me a fee to license my product. But I don't believe in selling anything. Matter of fact, people ask me all the time, why don't I ever see your stuff on Netflix? I said, because Netflix do bad business.
Really?
Why.
Okay.
Really?
Netflix is building Netflix. They're not building Carl Jackson Studios.
Yeah.
Right.
You're right.
And that's back to my lesson about Jakes. So, when you know a company is about building their company, then you go either these are my terms, and then you got to be able to say to people like Netflix, no, and then walk away and mean it.
Right.
And that's hard for a lot of people because a lot of people are so insecure. They go, no, I have to have that name Netflix on my stuff.
Right.
I don't.
Yeah.
I'd rather have a check.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah, you dropping some gems right here. If we get independent filmmakers, I hope they would look at this to see.
Yeah.
This is real. I'm thinking this is real gems. You know what I mean?
This is real, man. I mean, because if you think about it, Netflix is a great company if they're gonna if you're gonna be able to pay your mortgage.
Oh yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
But they're not a great company if you just be able to have bragging rights at dinner at 5:00 at Cheesecake Factory with some of your girlfriends to say, or your guy friends to say, hey, I got a new movie out on Netflix and everybody congratulating you, but then they go home and you still got to pay your bills.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Got to get compensated.
What's the point of just getting a congratulations on the social media that you on Netflix? Man, bump all that.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's real.
So I have a really great relationship with Fox, and Fox have been really nice to me. I love Fox. I've been with them for probably since 2019, and they are a vendor. Essentially, we are in business together, and they treat me right. They pay me my money on time every month without question. I've never had an issue. I handle my business. And I may not be known as like an F. Gary Gray or a Spike Lee, but I would question, the business abilities of some of these people that people look up to that have the bigger names.
Right.
It's business for me. It's about learning and understanding that you control your destiny and you control your value.
Yeah.
And if you don't value yourself, then don't expect other people to value you. Netflix will value me more when they come back around. Oh, and they will come back around.
Oh, yeah.
They've already started.
Yeah, you doing your thing. Oh, for sure, they come back.
Yeah.
They've already started, trust me. So it's like when they see that, hey, we got to respect this company. So when that time comes, guess what? Now you can have a seat at the table as a boss and not as a peasant.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking like Monique and who else? You remember all that stuff that happened with Netflix and not giving the money?
Yes.
So that has some truth to it.
I was just thinking about that. Yeah.
Yeah, there's some truth to that.
Well, Monique, I think Monique will go down in history as not only a pioneer. I think Monique is a amazing, intelligent genius, because I think what people don't understand is when they were dogging her and how she stood up to Oprah and Tyler. What people fail to miss when they talk about Monique is one thing, and that is Tyler Perry, Oprah Winfrey are looking out for Tyler Perry and Oprah Winfrey.
Yep.
It is Monique's job to look out for Monique.
Exactly.
So when people tell you shouldn't have said this, you should sit down and be quiet and shut up and just take what they give you, what they fail to realize is Tyler Perry's not taking what they're giving him.
Sure ain't. That's not how you got there.
Taking what they're giving her.
No.
She's negotiating what she wants and she gets it.
Right.
So why all of a sudden when Monique says, my value is this, even though you're trying to tell me it's here, all of a sudden she's crazy, she's lunatic, she needs to divorce her husband, she needs to break up her family, she needs to do all this stuff.
Right.
And it's like, no, she's going to go down in history as the boss bee that she is.
Yeah. Because it seems like they backtracking now, like trying to say we messed up and we need to apologize to her for that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because now they're starting to see, oh, this is what she was trying to tell us. Yeah, it's too late, dummy. Too late. What she did was she basically, in my opinion, she exposed Netflix.
Yeah.
What she did was she's exposed them. She basically was letting people know they're racist. How you give who's the oh my God, forget her name, the white girl.
Yeah, the comedian. I know you're talking about. I forget her name.
How do you give Amy this amount of money?
Oh, okay.
Who's basically stealing all the black men's comedy bits and changing it and making it about women. But then you get Monique, who's a very original comic. She's very great at what she does. And you pay her not even a fraction of what you paid this white girl? No. No, we're not playing that game. So I think that in history, when we look back at history, we're going to see that Monique was a boss, and she basically looked out for our people, and she's just not getting the credit. And the same thing with Dr. Martin Luther King. When he was around, a lot of people didn't realize this, but my grandparents can tell you, they're gone now, but before they passed, they'll tell you they remember when people was dogging Dr. King.
Yeah, I heard that. I heard that last year.
Hated him. Our own people hated him.
Yep.
Really?
But look at him today.
Yep. But they don't give you your flowers. That's how it always. They don't never give you your flowers while you're alive. It's always after the fact. You didn't die. Now everybody want to come. Yeah. Hey, you were an upstanding dude.
Right.
Yeah, we need to recognize you. Like, dude, I was doing this while y'all couldn't have my back when I was here.
Right. I was doing this 20 years ago. Why are you just now finding out?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Cold world. Where'd you grow up at?
I grew up in Fort Worth, Texas, man.
Oh, okay. So that's really interesting then, that you into film. Well, I mean, you can be in film anywhere, but I know was it a big scene here? I mean, in Fort Worth? Or?
No, it wasn't. Well, I was born there. I wasn't raised. Raised in Dallas.
Okay.
Yeah, I was raised in Dallas. I was born there, but I was raised in Dallas, and I came to San Diego, California, back in 2008, 2009, and that's really why I left Texas, because it was not a scene there. I'm going back, actually. We'll talk about that later. But but yeah, I came out here because I felt like I needed to focus and get out of a certain mindset. And that's really when my company started to really, really grow, is when I got out of a certain mindset. My base is still in Dallas, but I live in San Diego and I work a lot out here. We have studios out here as well. So that's what really helped me get to a place where I could, mentally do what I'm doing. I don't think I could do it, in Dallas. I can now, but I couldn't have done it back when I was wanting to. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. So my next question. Okay. How much pushback from the industry have you had being? I'm paraphrasing. Well, I'm not really paraphrasing. Saying, I'm assuming that you're a man of faith in producing and directing. As far as positive content.
Right.
Do you think, like, you got pushback from the industry trying to get your material out there, get your films out there?
No. Probably, if anything, I had more pushback from Christian people.
Really? So these are the people you actually making the film for, as far as
I remember, I think one of your assistants or somebody emailed me asking me about BMG or something and what happened or something, and that BMG was a Christian company, and they when I did Southern Girls, the movie Southern Girls, I had to buy back my film from the company. Basically, is what it ultimately ended up being. I bought my film back because they told me that no Christian want to hear about divorce. No Christians want to hear about people that have lost their mother. No one. It's too dark. They said the first thing they said to me was, "It feels like something that should play at Sundance Film Festival, but not for Christians."
Wow, they speaking for everybody. Oh, wow, that's crazy though.
They said
that's crazy.
That it needs to be, soccer moms. You need to make movies for soccer moms. And I was like, I don't make movies for soccer moms. I make movies that I feel like people want to see,
right,
including Christians. And so, I've got more pushback from Christians than I have the industry. The industry actually wanted me to do more secular stuff. I was offered the Miles Davis movie before Don Cheadle took it.
Really?
Wow.
I saw that on a plane, and I thought that was a really good movie. I didn't know Miles Davis was like that, though. Yeah, I really didn't know he was like that, but it was a real good movie.
You should have seen the script that I was supposed to direct.
Oh, really?
It was darker.
Yeah,
really. I didn't know Miles. I don't mean to get off Soju, but I didn't know Miles Davis was like that. You see he's like a Man, I think in the scene they were trying to sell some of his work, and he went with looking for him with a pistol and everything.
Yeah.
He's like a gangster in that time.
Those stuff. Yeah.
He was on some other stuff.
I
Okay.
did not. It was so surprising. I didn't know he was like that though.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
He was. The movie we was gonna do was actually a lot darker. Don Cheadle did an amazing job.
Yeah.
Actually, he did. I think he did a better job than I would have, obviously, because he's Don Cheadle. So
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna try to play like he's not the beast. He's a beast, and he's a monster. What he does. But no, I was originally gonna direct it, and there was talks of Don was gonna play the lead. At the time, he had not signed on when I was gonna direct it. But we were gonna start talking to him about it. But the reason why I turned it down was because to really tell a story correctly, you've got to go dark too. You've got to go where that person went.
Yeah, exactly. That's a true story.
Right.
Exactly. I'm just not sure if I have it in me to go that dark and then come back out.
Oh, wow.
Right. So I was like, if I go there and if it's dark, I don't want to have to carry those demons with me for the rest of my life. That I from doing this film, and it would have been a great movie, bravo. But it's kind of like you look at the guy who played the Joker in Batman.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah,
that performance was amazing.
Yeah,
but it killed him.
Yeah,
and it's so crazy to hear that though. When actors take on roles like, I'm not an actor. I know you did some acting.
Right.
Hey, from what I saw, man, like when they get into character, man, like they be in character, man. They be on lunch and they still in character.
Like what's the guy? I forget his name that just died, man. He played Omar. He played Omar.
He was too. Man.
They say he took the role on so much as when he was outside of set, that he still be in the character of Omar. It's like, damn, he couldn't let it go. Yeah, but I mean, I understand, but I can't really relate because I'm not an actor.
It's those things that make you. It's those things that make you like the character, or the things that sometimes kill the person that played the character.
Literally,
right?
Yeah, literally, and so. For me, it was like, do I really want to go there? And actually, who talked me out of it was a member of Earth, Wind, and Fire, Verdine White. I called him and I said, "Hey, man." Matter of fact, he was actually rallying me for me to do it, and he was the one that actually set up the meeting for me to start talking to Miles Davis's nephew, who actually is over the estate. So he's like, "You should talk to him." So I talked to him. And after all those conversations, Verdine told me straight up, he says, look, he says, if you were to do a movie, you should do Earth, Wind, and Fire, but don't do Miles unless you're ready to really tell the story correctly. And then I said, well, if I do, I told him, I said, I have to go dark. He said, exactly.
Shoot.
And then he said, do you want to go dark? I said, no. He says, well, then you know the answer to your question.
Yeah.
And that's when I was like, okay, I gotta turn this down, And it's those moments like that. You go, man, I wish I had said yes and no. Sometimes you look back and you go, I wish I had said yes, but that's one that I'm glad I said no to. I'm actually glad I said no to.
Right.
Because I saw the movie that Don did, and I was like, yeah, he was great for this because he knows how to. Don is one of those guys that's very private, and he knows how to separate things, I think, better than I can. He's very great because he played the lead and he directed it. A lot of people don't know that.
Yeah, I didn't. Right. I know you were saying that. I was like, okay, maybe he directed it too. But I know he started it.
Yeah, okay.
I know he started
it. He knew how to separate. And I think if I was going to play the lead and direct it, I would have said yes. Because then I could have controlled. Because that's why he did it. I think he did it because he wanted to control to what level he'll go dark. And how much of it does he want to be vulnerable? How vulnerable does he want to be in front of the camera?
Right.
He gets to control that.
Right.
If you get another director and he wants to push, well, you're the bad guy if you tell him no.
Yeah, right. I'm not comfortable with that. He can't say that.
You're messing up the movie for everybody. When you're not in complete unity or unison.
Right.
So I think that was a great move that he directed and played the lead. And I think he was the best person for the job, obviously.
I can believe that. That was a real good movie, though. By the way, yeah.
Man, I ain't see that one. Man, definitely look.
Yeah, man. Hey, it blew me away because I just didn't know. I know of Miles Davis, but I didn't know like he was like this though.
Right.
It's surprising to me though, but yeah.
Yeah, there were things I didn't know until after I started diving into the script and diving into the book and diving into the story. Then I was like, "Whoa, this was a bad movie." You know, a lot of people don't know he used to beat Cicely Tyson.
Really?
He used to, used to whoop her tail.
It's like an Ike.
Wow.
I don't want to spare no bad, but that's the truth. That's the truth. That's just what it is, man.
Right.
And so he had a lot of stuff that he dealt with that was really dark. There was stuff that I won't even repeat, but that I had, we were talking through, should we even put it in the movie, that I was going to do. And a lot of that stuff is just too bad. You can't even, it's too brutal, I should say. He was just a very tortured soul, but had an amazing talent. Yeah. And that music that he created came from a lot of that. And that's why it's so good or so moving, if nothing else. When you hear it, you hear a lot of the chaos, you hear a lot of the pain, you hear a lot of the blues in it, you hear a lot of love, you hear a lot of compassion. He's just brilliant. Brilliant person to do a movie on. If I could have done it in a happy-go-lucky way, I would have done it.
It'll been a
type movie. I would like, I'll sign up for that.
yeah.
Mess it up like they messed up Aaliyah.
Oh yeah. Once I heard what they did, I didn't even watch it.
Yeah,
I didn't even watch it. I was like, nah, I don't want to taint what I already know. So I'm back out of it. I'm good. Nah.
Yeah, it seemed like it'd be kind of hard to do the movies, man. Like when they doing all that stuff.
It seems,
Tupac and all that stuff.
Yeah, you know, but the Pac movie came out decent. I could believe that. Okay, that's really Pac. I was around during when all this was happening. So with the Miles Davis thing,
Pac actually wasn't that bad. Actually, I was shocked.
Yeah,
I thought it was better than the Biggie movie.
I definitely did. Yeah,
definitely.
So I know. You learned. You said it's all about the business and stuff. So you knew, like, not the Hollywood stuff. So, like, what would you consider success then?
Ooh, man, y'all got some good questions, man. I was looking for this. Oh man, you know what? That's a great question, and I have the answer. But I'm just surprised that you guys are asking deep questions. I knew I chose this podcast for a reason. I like the name. I was like, the name of this podcast. These brothers know what they're doing. They named it in a way that makes you go, I wonder what that's about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So, but anyway, to answer your question, I think success is being able to do what you love doing, make a living at it, and then share it with your family.
Okay.
Your daughter, I have a daughter, and to be able to take them on trips, to be able to explore the world with them, that to me is success. It is not, and I repeat, it is not getting Oscars, red carpet. I've done all this stuff. I haven't gotten any awards, but I have done all the red carpet you can think of. And I'm telling you, one or two of those, you start to figure out real fast that it is empty. It is nothing to that. It's just a bunch of people that are really, in my opinion, not all of them. I don't want to be quoted as saying everybody's bad, but there's a lot of people with a lot of pain. And that's why they came to Hollywood in the first place, to be seen, to be loved, to be heard.
Right.
It's like almost like a drug for them. Huh?
It's exactly. I was just getting ready to say it's addictive. It's a drug. And so success for me, if you had to ask me that question 15 years ago, I would have had a different answer. But today, looking over what I've done and what I'm doing, it is completely having some money in your bank. Going and coming when you want to go. Living out in the suburbs.
Right.
And enjoying your family. That's simple. If you're doing that, I don't care if you're a janitor, you are successful in my book.
Exactly.
You have made it. What they call made it. That's it. You've made it. And you can do that. That's success. Everything else is just, I look at it as I'm having fun. Have fun doing what you do, but don't do it for the reasons that people expect you to do it for. Don't do it because you want to have the number one movie, the number one hit, the number one. All that is fleeting. As a matter of fact, to say number one don't even mean anything anymore.
Nope.
Right.
I mean, if you've seen all these influencers on Instagram and social media, everybody has got followers now.
Mm-hmm.
My 7-year-old got a freaking YouTube page. She got 35,000 followers.
Wow.
Oh man, wow. Yeah.
Social media.
Her Instagram is 40,000 people.
Man.
So it don't mean nothing to get followers
Right.
and this and likes and all.
Mm-hmm.
It's dumb.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I agree.
So success
Yeah.
is like people ask me, they go to my Instagram page and they go, man, you only got, I think 700 followers. I say, yeah, my page is private. I get hundreds of requests, but I've told my people delete them all.
Mm-hmm.
Because for me, it's never been about building a fan base. It's about supporting and serving the community. And there's a difference between fans and consumers.
Mm-hmm.
You can understand what that means.
Oh yeah.
You will always be successful.
Right.
Fans don't spend money, consumers do.
Yep. That's it.
Yeah.
So when you understand that, you don't care about. I don't want that blue check mark on my name. I want to stay incognito and just keep building and building. Next thing you know, you wake up and he's like, "What the heck?" I know the secret, and the secret is that's the distraction, so that you don't build success. That's the distraction that these corporate companies have come up with to keep you and everybody else and us, all of us, away from success, which is building your dream, building your life. So I don't play it. I tell my team, when people join my page, we cipher through who we want, and we don't my business pages are different. They can join those business pages, but they never want to join those pages. They always want to join my page.
Oh,
They want to do what I'm doing. I'm like, I'm not going to let everybody know what I'm doing.
Yeah,
exactly.
People know who I want to know what I'm doing.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Period. Mm-hmm. I'm not a slave. I'm not a part of the secret society. I'm not like Tyrese and the rest of them where they gotta be out there, say this, say that, talk about Haitian, talk about this, talk about that. They give them a list of stuff to talk about every 5 minutes. That's not me.
Right.
Yeah,
I don't care.
You staying true to who you are. Yeah, that's
what it's about.
That's to be expected, though.
Yeah,
I would think.
In the words of Ice Cube, thank you.
In the words of Ice Cube.
Oh man.
Hey, I really enjoyed this interview, man.
Yeah, it's a real good one. Like, I love film. So, like, who do you look up to? Like, as far as in the industry, like as far as directors, like, is there any that you look up to?
That's my list right there. I have Martin Scorsese, who did the movie Casino, Goodfellas.
Yeah.
Spielberg. I like Spielberg. I like Spike Lee. He can go a little dark on some of his stuff, but his skills are impeccable. Spike Lee is a beast, right?
Yeah.
But my favorite director is Stanley Kubrick.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah. Eyes Wide Shut guy.
Eyes Wide Shut.
Yeah. Okay.
Clockwork Orange.
Yeah.
All the stuff they was trying to push us in film school, man. And I'm like, who?
right. I remember
I didn't
that
know
though.
who the cat. I didn't know. I was like, all right, hey.
Yeah.
I'll say, okay. Hey, I'm gonna go along with the program. I'm trying to learn here. You know, that was my approach.
That was a deep movie. I remember that.
Stanley Kubrick. He did also The Shining. If you ever seen The
Yeah.
Shining.
Mm-hmm.
And he also did Eyes Wide Shut, and then Space Odyssey 2000.
Yeah, that's been talked about lately.
Yeah.
But Stanley Kubrick to me was a beast. He just had a way of telling stories with pictures without a lot of words. And when he did bring words into it, you were able to like feel like you were in that, like you were there. Like you just felt like you were there. A lot of directors can't do that to me. James Cameron, he's not bad, but he's, people like Michael Bay, who's done Bad Boys and Armageddon, those movies, and James Cameron, who did Titanic and Avatar. Those guys, I like them. The problem is they come from the commercial world, so they know how to do fast cuts and action and make it just look like whatever.
Okay.
But Michael Bay and James Cameron, to me, they're too techie with their stuff, and they don't focus on the story to me enough. Now, Titanic was really great. Titanic was amazing. That was a great story, great special effects. Everything was A+.
Yeah.
But for the most part, Cameron and Bay, they just don't know how to tell a story. They just know how to make fast cut movies. It's like one long commercial, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm just not into those type of directors. I'm into those directors that can make you feel what they doing and what they saying. And can't nobody do that better than Martin and Stanley.
Okay, yeah.
What can you ask for more than those type of names on a film? You know what I mean? Because if I'm looking for directors and I'm looking for a good movie, I'll probably, back in the day, like they were making some like Goodfellas. I can remember back in the day watching Goodfellas and like, man, this is a really good movie. Heat. I don't know who directed Heat, but Heat was a good movie. I know they had some.
He's a great director.
Beast
Michael
in there.
Mann, yes.
Yeah.
Heat.
Heat was like one of my go-tos.
He also did Collateral, which was a Tom Cruise and Jamie Foxx.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Same director.
Yeah.
He's great. He did Miami Vice also with Jamie Foxx and Colin Farrell.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Michael Mann's a beast. I should put him on my list. I think he's on my list too. Yeah.
Michael Mann, I really like Heat. Heat had some stuff in it I don't think a lot of people saw. Like when they was firing the firearms, they sounded real. Like I remember having the surround sound and like, man, yo.
What I like about Michael is a lot of people don't give him credit for this. He was really the first director. Well, he wasn't the first. I think it was Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
What's his name?
Is that Lucas?
Is it Lucas?
Is it George Lucas?
Yeah.
Okay.
George Lucas was the first, but Michael Mann's perfected it. He learned how to use digital cameras, and make you think it was film. See, when he shot Collateral, when he shot Miami Vice, when he shot a couple of other ones, they were video cameras. They weren't film cameras.
Yeah, I'm at you know what? I'm gonna go back and watch Miami Vice. I ain't seen it in a minute, but
Miami Vice was shot on a video camera.
Wow.
He makes that he's so good at his lighting and his techniques.
Yeah, I was gonna say
that you think that it's shot on film and it wasn't. It's crazy.
I wouldn't have thought that. Yeah.
So Michael is a beast, but it tells you, it just goes to show my point, which is it's not about the camera. It's never been about the camera. It's always about the skill set.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If you know how to tell a story and understand lighting and writing scripts, and you got some great actors, you can do it with just a camera and a light and have people crying in the theaters.
Yeah. Hey, you telling a great story if you doing that right there.
Yeah.
Hey, that's a good story though.
I remember this small movie I saw years ago called Cappuccino. It was about this couple who were breaking up, and they shot it in black and white. The sound was horrible. Camera work was subpar, but it captivated my soul, man. That movie was so great because of the story and the ability of this director to tell with these actors. He only had like 2 actors in the whole movie, and it was just a beast. You'll look it up. It's called Cappuccino, I think.
Okay.
It was years ago. It's an old movie, like from 1999 or something like that, 2003, something like that. But it's if you can find it, I would tell every filmmaker to see that film, because you want to see how to tell a great story with nothing, and how to tell a great story with a Marvel budget.
Yeah. A good team behind you too. Yeah.
Hey, I was gonna say too, man. Hey, cause I had to do some research, man. I watched that LAX too. I felt bad. Hey, I felt bad for you in that car, man. I just said, is she gonna stop? Like, I said, that was a real situation too. It's like I'm like, just leave it alone. Leave it alone. Like, so I took from that. That was one long car ride. Literally.
It was.
Yeah.
It was. It was done. So LAX is an interesting story. So that movie it came from really experiences that I've had throughout my life with different girlfriends. And I always said, how I came up with that story was, what can I do? How can I tell a story where the woman is the monster and the man is trapped and he can't get out? He's got to deal with it.
Right.
It's like a horror movie. And the only place I could think of was the car. I mean, think about it. You had a long trip. You've had fun with your boys. You did everything you want to do. And your wife going to pick you up from LAX. And she going to question. She going to smell you. She going to do everything she going to do. and you already kind of had some trouble before you caught the plane, and now you're coming back, and she's already feeling some kind of way. To me, I said that's the premise for this movie. You gotta. That's the story I want to tell. And I got to give credit to Andrea, who plays my wife in that film. She was amazing to me.
Yeah, she played that, man.
She killed that, man. And every time we would cut, she would start giggling and laughing. I'm like, why are you laughing? I said, you just went off on me. And she would say, because I'm feeling like I'm talking to my husband.
Wow.
Because she was telling me her and her husband have had similar conversations that were in the movie. And so she's like, I'm going like, oh, she said some of your responses in the script were the stuff that he would say. So it was like, for her, it was like reliving some of that stuff with her husband. And she's just a great actress. I love her. I want to do more movies with her. And we're thinking about doing an LAX 2 because that movie was so big. That movie is huge. That movie, a lot of people have seen that film and been requesting that we do an LAX 2. And it's funny, I've gotten more people wanting, there's been more women, Black women that like that movie than anybody else.
Really? Okay.
And I couldn't figure out why. I said, why? Because it's kind of like not really making Black women look too great. But then it hit me. I said, oh, it's because they like the fact that I stayed with my wife.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what I said, that's why they like it.
Obedience.
That makes sense.
You so obedient.
Basically, they were cool with everything as long as I stayed with it.
Yeah, you couldn't go to that. You couldn't go to that other end.
And it hit me. I said,
Yeah.
why? Because I kept getting 5 stars. So we did some research. Why are we getting to keep 5 stars? Is it men? We thought it was men. And it was women, Black women.
Oh, wow. That's crazy.
And I was like, what? That doesn't make sense. Something is off with these numbers.
Yeah.
Kept looking. And it was like, oh. And we started doing like a little test to ask people, what do you like about me? What you didn't like? And it was interesting was all the fellas were saying what you just said, like, The women were going, yes, Carl, that was so great. I was like, what? What did I do? And then it hit me. And then after we did a lot of research, we started reading the comments and some of the emails, and it was all the same. He stayed with his wife. He didn't go with the other. And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And that makes sense. Because it's like you don't see that in movies.
Right.
Like you would normally see a brother go and then go.
I was just waiting for the car to stop or something. I'm just like, okay, somebody finna get up out this car. It's like somebody.
That's the thing. I wanted the men to cringe like, oh, and I wanted the women to go, yes, girl, tell him you got him trapped. Go tell him.
Yeah.
And that's really the reaction. All the men have been going, and all the women have been going, yes.
Right.
And there have been a few women that were like, you just mean to her. You just, I can't stand you. You were just disgusting.
Wow.
And I was like, either way it goes, I feel happy because I feel like the story worked.
Yeah, you did your job.
I did my job. If you got any reaction out of people seeing LAX, then that means that I'm a great filmmaker.
Definitely. Because you kept the attention throughout the whole thing. Because like the whole time it was like attention on it. Because it was like, what's going on? Like, what's gonna happen next? Like, yeah.
Everybody's. That's the one thing I've heard that makes me like. That's like getting an Oscar. When I hear everybody, not one person have said that they got bored. I've heard everybody said, "How did you take one scene, one set, one scenario for 90 minutes and I did not want to stop the movie?"
Right.
And I said, that, my friend, is filmmaking.
Yes, indeed.
That is.
Yep.
That is. Hey, because as soon as I saw that, it gave me that Saw feel, but not the darkness of Saw, but it gave me that one scene feel like he pulling this off. Like, like I'm still watching, Yeah. Like, hey, that was good.
That's the thing when people ask me, how did you do that? I say it's filmmaking. When you study filmmaking, you learn all the techniques. And I was just happy that it worked, because sometimes you never know. You just don't know if it's going to work. But when I saw the first cut of the movie, I almost cried, because I was like, not because of the story, but like, it's working. It's gonna work. Like, I knew it. I could feel it. Like, it's gonna work. Yes. And I was fighting if I was gonna make it black and white or color. And everybody kept telling me color, color, color. And so when everybody tells me something, I go the opposite way.
Okay. You just answered my question. You just answered my question, because when I was watching, I was like, why did he pick black and white? You just told me.
I picked black and white because it's cold and distant.
Okay.
There's no feeling. There's no emotion. And it's almost sadness. If you put too much color in it, it just makes it first of all, you make it boring, because now it's like, okay, we've seen them in the car, what's next? But when you take the color out, it automatically makes your brain go, why do I feel what I'm feeling when I watch this scene? Why am I feeling cold? Why am I feeling this distance? Why am I cringing? Why? You start asking these why questions.
Okay.
And it's just simple, just taking color out. But you got to know when to take it out, because it ain't gonna work on every movie.
Right.
You just gotta, that's what I mean by filmmaking. If you understand techniques, then it's easy to know, okay, this is, and everybody kept, because the color was amazing. Because, it was the night sky, the lights, and all the flashing and the colors. It was going to be a beautiful movie in color.
Right.
Beautiful. And it was harsh. Oh, it was a hard decision. But when I kept hearing color, I was like, no, I got to take the color out, because that is going to be the edge that's going to make people go, whoa. And it really was. People were amazed. I'm amazed at how many people were okay with it being black and white. And I've always wanted to do, since it was my 11th film, I wanted to do something that was completely different and unique. And that just took it to the next level of uniqueness. Two people in a car stuck, a relationship horror movie, take the color out.
Right.
That's a relationship horror movie.
Right.
A relationship horror. That's what I call it. I call it a relationship horror movie.
Hey, that's a genre.
It's a horror movie for men, but it's a love story for women.
Yeah.
Because women want to talk and give you their feelings all the time.
Yeah.
And that goes back to my first point when I said, if a man can be focused and not focus on relationships until he's ready,
right,
you can get a lot more accomplished.
Yes, indeed.
So imagine this guy in this story, he just came off his private plane. He just got this book. He should be celebrating and get his sucked, right? but instead, he's got to fight.
Right.
And so you got to choose the right mate. And that's why, if you saw in the story, there's a scene where he goes, I married you because you were pregnant, but I didn't know I didn't want to be no husband. I just did it because I knew it was the right thing to do. That line in that movie was a powerful line.
Yeah.
A lot of women were like, whoa, my husband have said that. My boyfriend has said his dad felt that way. Like, a lot of men feel that, where they go, I just made this choice because I felt like I didn't want to be a scumbag father or a scumbag man, that I just got this girl pregnant and didn't, be responsible. But then I also made sure the fellas heard when the characters say, but you had a part to play in this. I mean, you basically, in a nutshell, tricked me into doing this because you knew that's the only way you could get me. Mm-hmm. So it's this real life conversation. And I think that was also part of the hook, to make people watch it, because you're hearing this dialogue and you're going, man, I've heard some of this stuff before.
Yeah. Hey, that's kudos to whoever your writer. Did you write it?
Yeah, I wrote it.
Oh, okay. Dang, yeah. That's kudos to you then. Kudos, hats off.
Definitely. For real. Definitely. So we getting ready about running out a little bit, running out of time though. But is there anything that you're working on now that you want to say or anything?
The only thing that I would say is we're doing LAX 2, I think, coming up. We're still trying to figure out what that story is going to be. But right now we're calling it from LAX to Paris. We're thinking about taking it to Paris to shoot part 2.
Okay.
And then we're working on P31, which is a musical, and That's coming up. And then we have our television networks. I don't know if a lot of people know this, but I now own 2 television networks, and we're in like 200 million homes right now through various cable and OTT companies. The network is called CJC Network, and the other network is called the Grid Network. And if you want to know how to watch these networks, you can go to our business page at Carl Jackson Studios on Instagram, and it gives you all the places you can see the network. But we're out there with, WeTV, AMC, People Magazine Network, ABC, CBS, NBC. We're with those networks. We're not just some app that you can get off online. Like, we're part of major cable and OTT companies, and anybody can get us. There's no excuse why you can't watch us. But for sake of time, the easiest way is to just go to our Instagram page, Carl Jackson Studios, on Instagram or Facebook, and it gives you how to watch the networks. And we're doing extremely well with the networks. We have 2 shows. We have my podcast that comes on the network, as well as the podcast that plays on all the podcast platforms like you guys. And we have another show called Traveling with Danella Richard, which is a traveling show that's also on the network, and it's actually on American Airlines in-flight and United Airlines in-flight entertainment. And that's my show. So yeah, that's it. Pretty much just support the networks, and we still cranking out movies over here, man.
All right. Hey, we definitely appreciate you stopping through, man, and even taking time out your schedule, with us. Because like I say, we just starting out and stuff, and so we definitely appreciate it.
Yeah. Oh man, no problem. And the next time I'm in Texas, I definitely would love to come through. Or next time I'm in Houston, I definitely come through and do one in house with you guys. I like the show.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Well, we'll see everybody later. Y'all tune in next week or whatever. It's Rello.
Yeah, this is JR.
All right, catch you later.